What do you do when you feel like you're ready to love, but 7 other people feel like you just ready to go home? Take your cat and pack your bags, fat. Cue the music! Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or for discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out. Look how I just boast it out. Now come on, baby, why you bugging? We can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no, I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my...
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video, and we're here to discuss Ready to Love season 5, 6, 7, 8. Girl, I don't know. I don't even think the people down there Ready to Love know. But episode 3. Let's get right into it, because I ain't got all day. So the episode opens up, the ladies meet up with Tommy, and they're at the wine bar. When they get there, he tells them, look, this is a safe space for y'all to spill y'all tea. Do whatever it is y'all need to do. Say what you need to say. I'm here for it. He introduced Carmen, she's the girl who came in last week on a blind date, and asked her how she felt about the blind date. She basically said that she enjoyed it, that, her date was really nice, or whatever the case may be. Okay, Carmen. Carmen is cute, but I don't like her mouth. Something about her teeth or her mouth just don't sit right with me. So, basically, Tommy wants them to set up activities this week that is unapologetically you. Meaning, take these men and bring them into your world and see how they basically make out. He said they got 2 people coming in on blind dates and he needs 2 people to take them out. He ends up saying Dakia, she's going to be one of the people that takes out the new guy, and his name is Eric. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm interested in seeing somebody else. I like the mix that they're doing over there at OWN. I did not like, again, last season was my first season, but I did not like that they just threw everybody in a pot at once. It's hard to really get to know people. It's hard to really follow the characters or the people. So I think this way is so much better. You're trickling people in every week. I'm here for it. So Dakia is at her date and she meets Eric. Eric says he's a professional celebrity private chef and that he's looking for someone to share his life with. He basically wants to mirror his life after his parents. His parents are still married. So he wants to live that life. I think he's like 42 or something like that. He in his 40s. She think he's cute when he sits down, and he basically explains that he's a minister's kid and he got married at 18. Now let me tell y'all something. Getting married young never works out. Sometimes for the lucky ones it do, but for the most part it don't. Girl, you don't know who you are at 18. And this is for both men and women. I would stress that people wait, but again, I'm not here to tell somebody their timeline. So if he was married at 18, I get it. It just don't be working out. The next scene, Clifton is on a blind date because he's taking the place of the person that's going to meet the female. And he's on a blind date at this vegan place. And like Clifton said, do I look like I'm vegan? Baby, I eat. And you know what, Clifton, I felt you on there. You a big man. You got to eat. Vegan ain't it. Clifton said, I eat vegan as long as they can put some turkey on my sandwich. Okay? So he meets AP. She's 42. She's a holistic life coach strictly for women. And she said she was married for 10 years, but her husband died 5 years ago. But now she's ready for love. She sees Clifton and she's smitten. Obviously, Clifton is extremely beautiful. He's a beautiful man. I'm sorry. And I don't mean in the sense of, he's the most, on the scale of attractiveness that the United States or America gives. No. He's a beautiful black man, so I get it. But he actually thinks that she's beautiful as well. So they sit down. And they start talking about, their past and who they are. And he basically says, you picked this vegan spot, so I'm assuming you vegan. And she's just like, yeah. He's like, well, okay, I can play along a little bit, but at the end of the day, I need my meat. So do I, Clifton. But she brings out the fact that, she was married and her husband, so she's a widow. He passed 5 years ago. They were married for 10 years. And she has a 9 and a 7-year-old. And then we find out Clifton has a 17 and a 3-year-old. Now, Clifton, what the hell going on? Where the 3-year-old come from? 17 I get, but 3? Who you done made a baby mama, Clifton? Them really, really attractive men, the ones that all the girls want. You wonder why, and then you get with them and you figure it out. Clifton, I'm squinting my eyes now. Why is it the fact that you got a 3-year-old and you ain't with them all? I got my eyes on you, Clifton. Let's move on. So the next scene, Dakia and Eric sit down, and we find out both of them are engineers, system engineers. We also find out that Dakia works at NASA. Girl, I didn't know none of that. Maybe you said it, maybe I said it, I don't remember, but somehow I didn't get that back from you. So you a system engineer down there at NASA. Go ahead on, get your coin, girl. He asked her if she wants kids, and she was just like, you know what? It don't really matter. If I do have kids, that's great, but if I don't, I'm fine with that as well. She was like, but I'm too settled into my life to even try to, worry about having kids. Girl, look, let me tell you something. It is. Kids are beautiful, kids are amazing, but god damn it, who got time to be dealing with babysitting, school, nursery, diapers, all the stuff that come with kids, beating ass. Girl, I ain't got time. She said she like her life, and I'm with you, Dakia. I ain't trying to do all that. But she basically says that outside of her being a system engineer, she owns a dance studio, and she offers him a dance class. And he's like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, I bet you look cute and tight. He said, I bet you would too, and would. So she asked him how long he's been there. He said he just got back because I don't know if he was in New York or if he's there. But he says he had to go deal with his uncle with cancer. And this is where we find out that Dakia actually beat cancer as well. She beat, what was it? Cervical cancer. She survived cervical cancer. She was diagnosed at 30. And because they caught it so early, she was able to go through it without chemo. And that she's blessed. And I'm like, oh, Dakia is strong. So shout out to all the people that have not only lost their lives, but have beat cancer. I am greatly, I appreciate you. I'll just say that. So to find out that Dakia has beaten cancer was amazing. So they had that in common. And Eric kind of saw that and was just like, oh, wow. And I'm watching this like, y'all got a lot in common. So then he goes on to say, we move on. AP said Clifton reminds her of her brother. AP was like, yeah, I like Clifton. He's super handsome, but he kind of giving me brother vibes. And she said she don't feel connected because of that. Maybe because he looks like your brother physically, because that's what you said. I'm going to let you slide. But he don't give me brother vibes. Vibe his ass over here. Clifton could get it. I'm sorry, but I'm still squinting my eyes at you, Clifton. We move on. Eric asked Dakia if she want kids. I already said that. And she said that it don't matter. He's got grown kids. He said, no, we didn't talk about that. So Eric asked Dakia if she wants kids. Dakia said it really doesn't matter. He's got grown kids, and he says, I really like you. Because his kids are like, his two girls are in their 20s. And like Dakia said, you got adults. Like, that's different. She said she hadn't had a connection with anyone this fast before, and that she really likes his vibe. But, I feel like that's a great thing. I think they had so much in common. I think that, Eric and Dakia are the match, in my opinion. And I get it, it's early. You got to meet other people because like Eric said, I got to get in there and see who else is here. I can't just park my bus here. Y'all know I'm an advocate for not doing that. So I think it's good that he wants to explore more, but I do think that there's something there. I'll just say that. We move on to the next scene. So Dakia is facilitating a group date. And she's meeting up with Eric. And she's going to actually have everybody meet Eric. So it's a whole bunch of people on this group date. When Ace sees him, he says he looks suave. And they over there at this sip and paint thing. Okay, they doing sip and paint. Eric and Ace is getting along. Eric actually likes Ace, and I feel like Ace likes Eric. Now, I noticed out my little eye on the side that Dakia was over there listening to what's going on and talking, but she had an ear over here. Because, see, Dakia seemed very territorial because, she connected with him down there at the date prior. So she listening to them and talking to them, but she kept her ear open over here, as you should, because Ace about to take your man, girl. I take your man and show will. So they doing the sip and paint. All of a sudden, Joy look over at Cornelius's canvas, and Cornelius is painting a cat. So she's curious, as I was, and was like, well, why are you painting a cat? Apparently, Cornelius is painting his dead cat, and the dead cat name was Pimp. Now, Cornelius, I'm going to need you to come on down to the congregation and explain this. Cornelius getting his confessional and said, I don't know why people hate cats. Because, what he said, the Egyptians worship cats. And I don't understand because you're a grown-ass man. I personally don't like cats. I hate them. I think they're spawns of the devil. My personal experience and my feeling. However, I'm not dating no grown-ass man with no cat. Listen. Cornelius, if I came to your crib and you had a cat in there, and you was running around with this damn cat, that's the last day you'll see me. I'm not doing it. Ain't doing it. So you can't get mad when people want to judge you because the shit looks weird. I'm sorry. Joy was just like, I can't even take him serious right now drawing this cat. I mean, they put the photo up with him and Pimp, and he hollering R.I.P. Pimp, damn near crip walking, you know, for Pimp, but I ain't here for it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. So they said, I don't know if it was the Kia, but somebody had a switch. So they gonna move seats, girl. And I thought it was the Kia because I felt like she was looking at Ace and Eric getting along too good. But when they had a switch, Eric sits next to Joy, and Joy likes him. She feels like he's a breath of fresh air. And I feel like he is. I think he has a good personality. They actually swapped Instagrams. The Kia pulled Cornelius to the side and said she wanted to talk, but she's still going to give a wink to Eric to let him know she's thinking about him. The Kia, don't be desperate, girl. You got a lot going on, girl. You got a lot going on. Don't be desperate, girl. At least show like you know, you still like him, but it ain't that big of a deal. God damn it, Dakia. So Cornelius and Dakia go to the side. And Cornelius say, look, you're beautiful, you're successful, you got all this stuff going on. Why are you single? That is the question I hate. Because I could literally flip that question back around to you. You're single, you're handsome. Why are you single? I mean, you're single. You're beautiful. You're a handsome man. Why are you single? You got everything going on. Sometimes people experience life at different places. Listen, I for one was married already. I don't want to do that no more. I'm good. So if I'm single, it's because maybe I experienced what y'all experienced earlier. And now that I'm in that later, I'm having fun and enjoying myself while y'all figure out the earlier. You know, stuff like that really works out. But he asked her and she says, look, I was engaged a few years ago. You know, basically the same thing. She took her time to heal and she says that I'm good. She goes, well, what about you? Have you been married? No. You got kids? No. Now pause, Cornelius. Bad enough you got this cat. Now you gonna be in your 40s talking about you ain't never been married and ain't never had no kids? What you really want to tell us, Cornelius? Cornelius! Come to the congregation and tell us what you really want to say, because I'm looking at you sideways too. I don't like it. Anyway, so basically she goes, look, I'm not sure if I want kids because I enjoy the way my life is. So I don't know. But Cornelius getting his confessional and talking about he hesitant because the vibe was a little, you know what? No, your vibe. Catman. Your vibe. Let's move on. Sabrina go on a date with Paul. Girl, Sabrina gets to this date with Paul. They sit down, they talking or whatever the case may be. They eating soul food. And, you know, I'm always here for a good plate of soul food. I'm from New Orleans. We like to eat. She asked him about his childhood. Paul basically says he was, as a young kid, he was mischievous. That means his ass was bad. And that he was an entrepreneur even then because he used to basically go grocery shopping for the neighbors and have them pay him. I do admire that. No hating. I admire that. But I could see your ass was bad. I could definitely see it. So he basically turns around and asks Sabrina, do you see me as someone who can make you happy? And Sabrina let him down pretty harsh, but I'm here for it. Sabrina was just like, no, you kind of like a mentor. Like, you give me mentor vibes. Do I want to like be with you or have a relationship with you? Nah, it ain't really giving that type of tease. And I'm just like, I don't blame her. But he was like, dang, that hurt. Yeah, she was pretty forward. She wasn't disrespectful. She wasn't mean. She just basically said what she said. Now, while I was, squinching, although I don't like Paul, I was squinching like, damn, girl, you ain't even try to play it off. You just went in. I do appreciate the fact that she was upfront and honest because she was just like, look, I want to be with somebody who's not like me. She feel like her and Paul have everything in common. Like, at the end of the day, she's a go-getter, and she feel like instead of him trying to reel her back, he'll be pushing her forward. So, I get that. Like, I totally get it. Let's move on. AP goes bowling. So I really get that. Let's move on. AP goes bowling with Laverne. It's Laverne, Paul, Demetrius, and Joy. They get in that bowling, and AP says she wears size 11. Oh, you long feet heifer. Joy said she hugged AP, and she says her hug was really comforting, which makes sense because she's a life coach. So, and she said she only deal with women, possible lesbian, I don't know, allegedly, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, AP, you got comforting hugs according to Joy. Okay, whatever. So they start bowling, and Paul up there giving bowling lessons, saying he learned from his mom and he the best. Joy kind of have a go with the flow attitude or like personality. Like Joy gonna be good in any company. I like that about Joy, but Joy's a singer, so I get it. You gotta be able to fit in all type of vibes. Joy says she loves Paul's raw and uncut humor. She says, I get it, other people might find it offensive, but I think I like it. Well, she enjoys it. She ain't gonna say she likes it. Laverne said he needed encouragement and asked Joy to touch his ass. Now, Laverne, this is the second woman you asked to touch your ass. What do you really want to tell us, Laverne? It's bad enough your name is Laverne. What is it that you really want to talk to us about? Because no man, no grown heterosexual man is running around asking a whole bunch of women to touch his ass. Now, Laverne, I already didn't like your name, but you're a beautiful black man. But, baby, say what it is and mean what you say it is. Stop asking these women to touch on your ass. I don't like it. It ain't satisfying. It ain't sexy. It's actually weird. Stop it, Laverne. I don't like it. Let's move on. Sabrina goes on a date, and she's going with, I think it's a bunch of them, and I'll get to it. Sabrina goes on a date with a bunch of people. It's a group date basically, and they go and see the monuments and everything. But she said there's more men than women, so she likes that. Girl, you my kind of girl, because I like that too. So they go on take this tour, and AP, she's sitting in the front, and she noticed that Demetrius is sitting way in the back. And she was like, now I'm just sitting here stuck with Wiley. Wiley is a 32-year-old. Demetrius says she's not trying to be no cougar. And listen, I think that y'all set Demetrius up for failure, putting him in this pool. All of these women are in their late 30s and early 40s. And while I know that sometimes older women like to date younger men, these are grown-ass women. They're not trying to raise no more children. And AP was sitting there talking to Wiley like, boy, you don't stand a chance. And he don't. And that's why I feel like producers set him up for failure. He said he like older women. First of all, older women don't even like when you say that. Like, Wiley, go home, Wiley. Just go home. So he asked how old she was, and she told him, look, I'm 42 years old. He get in the confessional and was like, well, that might be an issue because I want kids. Well, aren't you dealing with older women? I'm confused. What did you think? I'm sorry. She basically said Wiley reminded her of one of her students because she's a professor. And she said he reminded me of one of my students. Wiley, have several seats, please. So Sabrina is sitting there and she's looking back, and she said it's awkward to have Tori next to her and Demetrius sitting in the back and not even trying to engage. Everybody running behind Demetrius. He fine, don't get me wrong. I ain't no shade, no tea. But everybody running behind Demetrius, and Demetrius is sitting in the back seat of the bus like he don't give a damn. Girl, have several. We move on. Joy is going on a date with Clifton. And I like them two together. Their chemistry is so cute. So Joy goes on this date with Clifton, and she's excited. She said all she wants is a hug. So they get on the date, girl. Clifton is sitting across the table with that food, that fish, and that plantain. Oh, it looks so good. Y'all made me want to go get some fish. Oh, that food looked so good. But they go on this date or whatever. And Clifton was like, I'm going to help you finish your plate. So he gets up for her to give him a bite. He sits back down and was just like, oh, I taste coconut. Like, I can deal with, artificial coconut, but real coconut, I'm allergic. She's like, oh, Lord, I ain't trying to kill you yet. Lord. He spits out the food and says that he basically gets hot, he gets heated and all that stuff, and he got to get naked. I give you, some coconut all the time. But either way, they have their date. Clifton said, look, my heart would have to literally stop right here for me to not have this date. I love that. I love them two together. I think that they're so cute together. So shout out to Clifton and Joy. But basically, Joy opened up about the fact that she was raised by a single father. And that's very rare. It says that her father died, and when he died, it was so devastating to her. That was her best friend. Clifton was able to relate because he said he was really close to his father. And when his father passed, it took him a while. He internalized it, and it took him a long time to cry and kind of get it out. I think a lot of us do that. I know we typically do that even when we don't try. And I feel like, that's not a good thing to do, but sometimes it's our coping mechanism. It's our brain trying to protect us. But I think that it was nice that they both brought out how it took them years later to cry, but they did, and they had a good one. So I like that they connect on so many levels. Clifton and Joy are the best. I like them two together. I just think that they're going to be, a good match, in my opinion. We move on. The ladies is down at the wine bar with Tommy. And Tommy says he's really happy. Well, before we get to what Tommy said, Precious says that she's very happy, extremely excited to see all the women. Precious, what is it that you're trying to say? Because, Precious goes around telling all these men she gonna be with them. And she loves them. And she make connections with everybody. She don't literally say it, but she make connections with everybody. Precious, I'm gonna need you to get it together. But yet you excited to see all the women? Mm-hmm. Okay, Precious. So they're down there at the wine bar, and Tommy arrives, and he introduces AP, and he starts talking about who he wants to let go. Who they want to let go, I'm sorry. Who basically do you have a connection with? A said that she likes Laverne. She talks to him every day. Joy says she likes Clifton, I'm sorry, although she almost killed him, and she went into that story. Carmen says she likes Clifton. A says she likes Demetrius and Tori. Precious says she likes Paul. And Dakia says she went on a blind date with Eric and he threw a wrench in everything that she thought. She said because originally she was on to Clifton and Demetrius, but Eric kind of came in and that whole thing. I like that because Clifton is stuck with Joy, and that's fine. And Demetrius, I don't know who Demetrius, maybe his old lady at home, who knows. But she likes Eric. So now Tommy asks who's the weakest person. Carmen says Wiley because he's basically too young. Everybody basically saying Wiley. The kids said Laverne and Cornelius. Carmen says Laverne. A said Paul. Joy said Cornelius and Paul. Sabrina said Cornelius and Paul. Precious interjects to tell them that, look, I get it. Everybody has different things. What you guys may not like about Paul is what I do like. Basically, he's the type of person that I need in my life. He's my opposite, and he's going to get me to where I need to be. I think that, number one, I can't even hold you. I feel like whole Precious, although I feel like you a whole, you were able to articulate that very well. So I appreciate you for that. She basically says, look, I get it. Everybody don't like Paul because he comes off harsh. But I personally feel like he's different to me and for me. Like he's better for me. So shout out to her for figuring out how to figure her life out. All right. So now Tommy was like, I need y'all to go on these dates and tell these men what's going on. And in that moment, I said, okay, Precious, you definitely going to be the person to take Paul on a date. So now Joy is on a date with Cornelius. Cornelius said he's surprised because he didn't really get a good vibe with her. But they go on their date. And Precious taking out Paul. Basically, she's feeling hurt because she has a connection to Paul. And she don't want to have to tell him the bad news. So, or even take him in that type of environment or situation. And I get it. So basically, Paul says that he scratched the surface, but he wanted to go deeper in all of that stuff. So then, right after that, Precious brings up that the fact that the women talked about them in the ladies' lounge. Joy says she wants to protect Cornelius' feelings, and Precious says that when the women were talking, they basically thought that Paul was super guarded. Joy tells Cornelius that the women didn't have a romantic connection with him. They feel like that it wasn't romantic. It was more like on some friend vibes, and they were there for romance. Paul says, I'm sorry, let me back up. Precious said the women thought you was guarded. And then Paul goes in and was like, I'm a juggernaut. I am who I am. Basically, I ain't going to try to sweet talk no woman. It is what it is. If you offended, oh well, suck a lollipop. I don't give a damn. And Precious was sitting there very calm, like, okay. She let him get his thing off, But Precious did have to come back and say, look, you need to figure out how to maintain that or how to basically curtail the vibe you giving off to the other women. Because these girls trying to get you up out of here. But I'm going to let you live because you ready to love. And he was just like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. I'm like, Paul, you fake as hell. So now on the flip side, Joy is telling Cornelius that he's not ready to love because of the friend vibes that he got. The girls weren't able to connect. I do like that Cornelius got in his confessional and said, maybe my intentions weren't set. Or maybe they weren't noticed, so I'm going to go back and work on that. I love people who know how to take constructive criticism, apply it, and fix it. But I do feel like of the two, I don't know, it's kind of a difference between weird and asshole. Which one can you take the most? I don't know. I'll let y'all decide. But drop down in the comments. Cornelius went on down to the house. Girl, look, Cornelius said he got friend zoned by 7 different women at one time. Cornelius, you might want to go down there to therapy to see why the hell 7 women, 7 want to send your ass down to the friend zone. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. I thought it was cute. It was alright. I like that this season is more mature than last season because it was just too much going on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you hoes later. Bye.